Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to the Stock Market Sensei channel. It's been a while, I know. I've just been sitting back reviewing some earnings reports, because I know last video I talked about a couple that are pretty important coming up here. Today I want to talk about Apple's earnings report. They announced a couple of days ago, and since, I'll just tell you, the stock has skyrocketed. It's been a great couple days, except for today. As of recording this, the whole market's down pretty bad, but it is making a turnaround right now. So probably going to end positive as well. So very excited. Let's see exactly why Apple shares might exactly be skyrocketing here. Let's see what we got. So up on the top line here, this is directly from Apple's website. This is their financial statements here on how they performed over the quarter. What we're looking at ideally is quarter 2 2018. That's the one that they just reported. It'll naturally separate it into different segments, countries or areas of the world, which is always something good to look at to see where exactly things are performing well. The big thing, your overall revenue for total Apple, 16% increase year over year. So that's one of the major parts here. 16% revenue increase is significant. If you think about the PE of the stock, Apple's trading around as of this recent boost, probably around a 13 or 14 PE ratio. So honestly, that's very cheap for this stock. I mean, this is a clear growth company, as you can tell by 16% revenue increase. This quarter was under a lot of scrutiny because a lot of these analysts were predicting terrible growth, terrible everything. iPhone sales dropped, iPhone everything. Everything dropped Apple-wise. And I'll just tell you right now, they were extremely wrong. And I am glad I doubled down prior to earnings. So it's very good. I stuck in there. I know a lot of people were scared these analysts were correct because nearly every one of them was saying Apple was going to fail. This quarter was going to be terrible, but it seems like they say that nearly every quarter for Apple for some reason. That's just what they say, and then they're always wrong. I don't know if it's because they want to buy some more shares at cheaper prices, because I know I sure do. I'll tell you that right now. Let's break it down though into the segments here. So in the Americas, North America, South America, naturally, 17% revenue increase, which is above their median revenue increase. Europe, a 9% increase. China, 21% increase. Japan, a 22% increase, which is insane. Insane to think about. How many people that it encompasses. It's pretty significant. Obviously, number-wise, if you check the numbers, it's not as significant as other things, as you can tell. Quarter 2 2017 was 485 million. I believe that's a million. Not sure actually. I don't know what I'm talking about. But as opposed to this quarter, 5,468. Quarter 2 2018. But you see, Americas is naturally trumping every other area there, doubling nearly what everyone else is doing. But China's right behind that, and Europe's not too far behind. And to see growth in those areas still is significant. In total, you see a 16% gain there. And then if we go down to the individual products, which is part of the key aspects there, everyone was talking about, oh, iPhones are going down. iPhones are going to be a disaster. The iPhone X didn't sell well. That's completely untrue. Actually, as you can tell, look at those iPhone. In terms of units sold, there was an increase in terms of units sold there, as well as their total revenue. The revenue is a lot more significant due to the fact that average sale price of the phones increased, being that the X was $1,000. So average phone costs a little bit more, so the more phones you sell, you make more profit and revenue. Maybe not profit, but always make more revenue naturally. So that's excellent to see. Everyone was thinking that it was going to be a down quarter. Phone units were not selling. But as you can tell there, year-over-year change, a 3% increase in phone units sold. Definitely something good to see, and that adds for a revenue of 14% due to that increase in average sales price. Next, you got on the list iPads. This is something that it stuck out pretty well to me too, that iPads managed to increase over the quarter. I personally was seeing maybe it's pretty close to flat growth, but I mean it's, if you look at revenue gain, it's pretty significant. I didn't think iPads were necessarily a growing business for them. I thought they would stay consistent, if not decrease. But as you can see, they sold 2% more in terms of iPads, as well as, and that accounts for a 6% growth in revenue. It's actually pretty significant in terms of the company. Mac, not exactly what you're looking for there. I didn't expect anything significant out of Mac. They haven't made any significant releases, changes that would spark any increase in that. So the units did go down, but revenue did remain flat pretty much. You see it's a slight gain, but it's nothing significant. So as long as they keep that consistent, as long as there's no areas of this company that are decreasing, that's what we're looking at. This next one is something that should be a big old shocker to everyone. Look at that. If you look at the services number, it is insane. That includes like Apple Music, iTunes. Just take a peek there. 31% revenue growth. In my opinion, services is the future for Apple, because naturally you will eventually saturate the market in terms of iPhones. They can grow in other devices too, but I think iPhones will eventually slow down as other competitors come into the market. But where Apple will remain consistent is services. This is how Apple's always consistently dominant. 31%. I mean that was a big shocker. I expected positive in terms of services, but I didn't expect 31% growth. That's significant, and it makes me quite excited for the future, at least, because that means for the next couple of years at least, I plan to see that growth continue, because they're increasing that, and they're coming out with new services too. I mean, I could see it in the future that they, with the kind of cash that Apple has, they could easily come out with a streaming service to rival Netflix. Certainly a possibility. Then finally, we're going to go down to other products. That'll encompass things like the Apple AirPods, wearables like Apple Watches. Another pretty significant part of their business right now. Definitely positive increase there. You see a 38% revenue increase. Apple Watches are on a tear. The AirPods sold pretty well. Not as well as I was hoping necessarily, but there's definitely room for improvement there, and I think they certainly will improve in that aspect in terms of their other products too, because I think they will eventually expand more beyond, instead of iPhones being their main revenue source, I think they will expand a little bit more, and those other products will start to balance that out a little bit more, and it'll be a very well balanced company. And yes, that altogether accounts for a 16% revenue increase in terms of dollar amount, which absolutely significant. One other thing I wanted to show here, there's an earnings per share growth of 30%. I was predicting around a 20% earnings per share growth. They definitely blew it out of the water. Another thing that shocked me was nothing new for Apple there, but you see a $100 billion share repurchase program they got going on right now. $100 billion. I mean, that's, to Apple, that might as well be chump change because it's Apple. That's going to be significant in driving that stock price up over the next couple of years for sure, at least significantly over the next quarter. So next quarter's earnings per share should be significant. I think it'll be fantastic next quarter as well. As well as a dividend raise of 16%, which I believe brings it from 64% per share annually to 72 cents per share, quarterly, that is. So I believe it's 72 cents per quarter now. So that's about all I have for you today. Good to see Apple performing well. One of my larger positions. I'm very glad that Apple's rocking it. I think next quarter they're going to rock it yet again, and I guarantee these analysts are going to say they're getting held down, but there's no chance. Apple will continue for the next years, absolutely, to just dominate their field. Absolutely. Thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.